everybody, welcome. It is episode 4 of the Osprey Observer TV. Joining me as always, Marie Gilmore, editor-in-chief of the Osprey Observer. Hello, Marie.
Good morning. Hi, everybody.
We have another great set of interviews for you, keeping you in touch with what's happening in the community, especially right now when so much is changing due to the coronavirus. And now that we are in phase 1 and things are starting to open up and certain regulations are starting to be relaxed a little bit. Well, how's that affecting our community? We've got 2 great interviews, and our first is going to be with a local assisted living facility.
Today, I'm so excited. We have great interviews set up. And our first interview is my dear friend, Jill Andrew, the Director of Marketing over at Tessera Brandon, which is an assisted living facility with nursing care that has been obviously on lockdown, on quarantine for over 7 weeks. And what's really impressed me and why we invited Jill on today is, first, she's just a delight to talk to and just a fun person. But because Tessera has been top of line on doing unusual things to keep their residents engaged. Jill, tell us a little bit about what it's like doing what you do, working in this industry, and being locked down with senior citizens for 7 weeks.
Well, first off, let me tell you, if you need to be locked down with somebody, pick seniors, because they are so resilient, so understanding, and simply amazing. They've been through so much in life that this is like one extra thing. So we're there to pick them up, but they're here to pick us up also. So it's really a two-way kind of thing. We've done all kinds of crazy things. Initially, you thought, okay, we'll be locked in for 14 days. We can do this. Well, it's turned into over 70. So then we get creative. It's a challenge because we are regulated by so many agencies that we're trying to make sure that we're complying with absolutely everything, which we are, and going way above. But we were proactive in the beginning. We actually did no visitors prior to anybody else in the area. And I think that's what's kept us COVID-free from day one. But with that comes boredom, and I want to see my family. So we are now experts on Zoom, Skype, FaceTime, Facebook Live, Messenger Live, and we created what we call Visitation Stations. So there are 2 areas, one in memory care, one in assisted living, and we set up curtains and couches and chairs, and then outside the window, right up against the window, outside the window is tables and chairs and tents overhead so that they're out of the sun for the families to come. And we schedule visits. Unfortunately, we have to schedule because we have Zoom, Skype, visitation stations. And if you do the math with the number of residents that we have, if each resident had a 15-minute visit, it would be 27 and a half hours a day.
Wow. Okay.
So it's full-time jobs.
So let's rewind a little bit. Give us an idea of what was a normal day or week like before the coronavirus came in.
Residents were able to come and go as they pleased in assisted living. We had a van. They go out to the beauty shop once a week. They go shopping. We go on tours. They were free to have the families come by and pick them up and go out to lunch and go to church and church services and all of those things immediately once we were quarantined or locked into the building. Then the van service stopped, even to the point of only critical medical care. So all the doctor's visits had to be stopped and rescheduled. But you can't reschedule if you don't know when you're going out, still ensuring that their healthcare needs are being met. So what happened is everything came in-house. Absolutely everything. So setting up procedures for families dropping off. I need shampoo. I need curlers. They don't have curlers. They went to the beauty shop, you know. So we have a whole, from day one, we had a procedure, and the families drop stuff off out at a table out front. We sterilize it. We bring it in. We deliver it because the families cannot come in. A typical day was fun. We have full activity calendars, both for memory care and assisted living would come together. We had entertainers. We'd sing, we'd dance, we'd drum with Janet Broder, we'd have a good time. Ready, stop. The cool thing was this team here is, I've worked with a lot, they are phenomenal. From day one, it wasn't, oh no, we don't get to do that anymore. It is, how in the world are we going to figure this out so it still happens? A great example is entertainment. Those entertainers are small businesses. Each one is a small business. Every single one of them is a small business, and many of our residents here were small business owners, so they have appreciation for that. So we figured out and came up with a solution of how we can still have that entertainer or that Zumba person or the Tai Chi person could come. They could come to the front door. Their equipment would be outside. We'd set the chairs facing the front door, social distancing, which was a challenge to learn for the residents. Why can't I sit next to my friend? And then we also have, it's called It's Never Too Late, which is a computer system that it's never too late to learn. And we would set the camera up outside, so not only could they see them through the window, they could see them on the TV. And we continued with our music and with our Zumba and with our Tai Chis and with our, all of those things were still happening. And according to those businesses, we're the only ones in the area that we're their only income right now. So what did? We added more times for them to come. And that works.
Wow.
We have I'd say the communication piece is really the tough part, communicating with families, communicating with the doctors on the outside. We're doing mostly telemedicine now. So the communication component was through Facebook. But to do that, we needed a release from each family member. We had quite a few to allow us to post their picture on Facebook. That took a while. There was about a week lag there, but finally we have everybody that's okay once they understood the why. You know, and now seeing that, oh, mom's okay. I saw her, you know, doing Zumba and laughing and giggling, and it's all right. She's fine. For our memory care residents, it's a real challenge. We do for our visitation stations, and for those families, we do use the iPads to be able to have the resident actually see a bigger picture of them. That depth perception is gone, so it's a little harder, but to sit there next to a woman whose husband is on the other end, and he lives in AL, but can't go next door to memory care, and for her just to touch his lip and to touch his nose and give him a kiss is just beyond belief phenomenal.
Wow.
For our memory care folks too, they were integrated into our assisted living, so that ability to come and go between the two building areas has stopped temporarily. Hopefully we'll be able to get it going again. But we implemented a stress relief. It's called hypnomentia for those with dementia, and it's just a relaxation, calming. We're now up to twice a week because I have support groups, and those support groups can't meet here. We can't meet, so we're integrated them, and we actually start Zoom support groups next Wednesday, or this Wednesday. I'll get that info to you.
Okay, excellent. What can you give advice to any family member who does have a loved one locked in behind the walls of an assisted living or memory care that you know that could really help that they maybe haven't recognized or seen yet?
Encourage them to utilize Facebook. Give them permission to utilize Facebook. Be patient. Be patient. Not only are your loved ones here, you know, day to day, it's not the same, and we never know, and things are changing moment to moment, but it's the same for the staff. The staff is so dedicated. We know so much about each other with the residents now that a handwritten note, we've had dozens and dozens and dozens of small businesses in the area, you know, donate cookies, or all of a sudden here comes pizzas, or, you know, take care of the people that are taking care of your loved ones. That's really important.
That's a great tip, because we may not necessarily consider the nurses and CNAs and LPNs who work in assisted living and nursing homes as essential frontline workers. However, they're taking care of our most precious residents, who are our seniors, our most vulnerable generation. And you're right. I didn't think of the nurses at the assisted living and nursing homes when we're doing all the frontline, essential work. Thank you.
Well,
so
and
that's great.
And that maintenance guy and that housekeeper who has their kids at home that they're trying to homeschool also. And, maybe in a household that 4 people live there, 4 adults, and they're the only one now left with a job that has an income.
Wow.
So getting them the resources.
Jill, now, did you see any folks maybe either self-admit or have family members admitted to a facility like yours because they are high risk in an effort to try to avoid this virus?
To avoid the virus, but even more so is to get that stimulation that they need. So we have an entire move-in procedure where everything's sterilized. In assisted living, they become quarantined, but mom getting agitated or dad getting agitated and they just can't take it anymore. And many places are not admitting, which is, tough, but I understand you have to have the staffing and the procedures to ensure the safety of every other resident and educate the residents. Yes, this person's moving in. We now have set up extra respite rooms so someone can come right away. Don't worry about their furniture yet, and become very, very, very efficient.
Well, Jill, thank you so much for everything that you do. You are a frontline essential worker. You are taking care of our seniors. And I know, because I've been around you enough, that there's bubbles and there's fun involved. And I just know you are just doing everything you can for your residents at Tessera. And we will absolutely stay in touch and keep sharing the news and keep breaking boundaries and just changing the world. Jill, you're amazing.
We're going to do it
with us. We love you. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you again to Jill Andrew from Tessera Assisted Living Facility. Loved having her on and seeing how they've adapted. It's amazing, what is going on in our community and how this virus has unfortunately touched every aspect of our lives. And again, to those frontline workers that we don't normally think of, thank you so much for all the work that you do. Now we're going to change direction a little bit with a little coffee shop that is not giving up during this coronavirus. And if anything, they're doubling down and making an imprint on the community.
Our next guest today is one that I'm really excited to introduce. This is someone who, in the middle of the largest crisis pandemic of our entire world, opened up a brand new business in our community. And I've had the privilege of going in there, trying the products, getting to know the passion he has behind his business. So I want to introduce Tom Quigley, who's the owner of Chill Cawfee, a brand new coffee shop that just opened on Lithia Pinecrest about, 7-8 weeks ago, right before the pandemic?
Yeah, right as everything was starting to emerge, we did our ribbon cutting on March 7th, and we had our first Valrico Artisan Fair, which is the market, on the 8th, and we were planning to have the next one on the 22nd, and all of a sudden, that we went into a state of emergency on March 15th. So again, the timing, they say, is everything. But you could have never planned for something like this.
You really couldn't. Oh, and there you are drinking one of your products. So just tell us a little bit, Tom, what is Chill Coffee Shop? Where are you at? Tell us what we can find when we come to your shop, because you are open. You're considered essential, right? So
absolutely. So we're a full coffee shop. We've partnered with Royal Cup. They do First Watches Coffee and Cheesecake Factory, a lot of the hotels in the area. So they bring us our coffee. They're our local roaster every week. So we have hot coffees. We have iced coffees. We also have nitro coffee. That's where we infuse nitrogen into the coffee and keg it and then dispense it using nitrogen. It gives it a full flavor taste without any added sugar or any dairy. We also have a variety of different teas. And all of those beverages we can infuse with hemp CBD. So we can infuse them so they can be a CBD coffee, CBD tea, but they don't have to be. On tap, we also have Mother Kombucha. So kombucha is another great probiotic beverage. It comes in a number of different flavors, and we have key lime margarita, and we have blue rose, and we rotate out those taps. So that's the main part of what we have for our beverages for chill coffee. And then we also have some breakfast sandwiches, some bites to eat. And then we do CBD education here. So we're also an event center. So what that means is we help people understand alternative healing and alternative medicine, so to speak. So we have a partnership with Dr. Kelly King, and she comes in and helps people navigate getting their medical marijuana card approved by the state. And then we also help people to learn about other products that, can help their body come into balance, a little bit more so. So with like kratom teas and CBD coffee, CBD teas, and then we have full variety of products that don't need a medical card to buy, but still are CBD based.
And I've had the pleasure of trying some of your coffees, and they're excellent. And so far, I've just said, Tom, give me a creation. I know there was one with a nitro coffee with the little ice cream on top, and it was incredible.
I do have to say, I'm still, at the kind of very surface level of understanding of CBD, but while obviously this has been a movement for many years, it certainly seems to have escalated pretty quickly, I would say, over the past 5 years or so. What has the response been like? I mean, are you having to do a lot of this education up front when people, because they must be curious about it when they come up to a coffee shop and they see that they can get their coffee infused with CBD oil? I mean, what kind of is that process like? What has the community response been like on that front?
It's been very welcoming. I entered the space 6 years ago myself, and I've been able to see the transformation of the conversation, so to speak. So to be able to sit over a cup of coffee and talk about healing benefits of the plant cannabis, is amazing. And people are coming in, they're curious, they're bringing in their children with them, and they're asking questions. A lot of people are educated now, so it's not new to them, but they're learning that there are many different types of products that are out there, and things that they can incorporate into a healthy lifestyle. So I think it's been very well accepted by the community so far, and we're getting a lot of curious people, which is nice.
So Tom, when somebody asks you, hey, I've never been to Chill Coffee, do you say it's an education center, a coffee shop, a wellness center? How do you describe it exactly?
We're the name stands for cannabinoids and wellness for every experience. So, I really describe us as a coffee shop, that has an event center and social place, because that's one of the other things, I've been traveling the country and working out of coffee shops for the past few years. And I noticed in a lot of the West Coast cities and towns that I visited, there were those smaller hometown grassroots type of coffee shops. And that's really what we wanted to start with, and then have it as a place where people can, experience perhaps, a bridal shower, or, maybe their next event, or, we're doing sip and paint, and we're going to be doing cooking classes here. So a little bit more than just coffee, and incorporated, cannabis, for medical patients, and giving them a safe place to go, and, be able to, choose to, be around other like-minded individuals, and try out a new CBD mocktail instead of a cocktail for once.
Well, and it does seem a little less intimidating to go visit a coffee shop for these kinds of appointments rather than, trying to find one, don't know where it is, unfamiliar with it. Hey, I can go to the coffee shop and at least inquire or sit through a seminar or something like that. The other thing I saw last week, which made me reach out immediately, was you actually hosted a COVID-19 antibody testing station for about 3 hours right in your coffee shop, which again seemed like, oh, I know where the coffee shop is. That's right down the street. That seems available. Tell me about that. What made you want to be a host site for antibody testing?
Well, with being open during the pandemic, I started doing Coffee Talk, which was our weekly podcast couple times a week. And Dr. Kelly King comes on there. She's also my neighbor. She's my doctor. And she sees patients here that are interested in getting their medical marijuana card. So she got her test last week, and she mentioned, hey, we can do the other patients that come through at the same time. So the patients that were coming through for their medical marijuana test or their medical marijuana certification, more so to speak, could have their COVID test done at the same time. So being able to have her nurse do the blood draw and then submit it. And I believe Quest also is doing those, the antibody tests now as well. But we thought it would be just a great place, for people to come in and get out of the house and, find out that we're here.
Okay. And just the results will go to them individually, and they'll know. These are for people who thought between maybe November, December, and now may have had coronavirus, and just were curious to get that final result if they did, which could be valuable information for them to know whether it was a regular upper respiratory cough and cold, or you had the flu, or you indeed did have COVID-19 coronavirus. So I think that's really interesting. And again, the coffee shop is not intimidating. It's a welcoming environment. It's bright. It's beautifully lit. It's an absolutely stunning coffee shop. And I was really excited about bringing back the Sunday market, because that was a really nice venue, really nice location under the beautiful oak trees. So I really hope we can get back to a day where we can get back to those markets.
Yeah, no, we do too. And, we spoke earlier before we got on the podcast about opening during a pandemic and what has that meant. And so this was my wife's shop, and I was, really just helping her. And, I was working a corporate role on the other side of the country. And so I started utilizing, some of the things that I had thought that she could use during the pandemic. So we implemented Uber Eats, DoorDash, two things that we probably would have not implemented for quite some time. We had a custom app that's now been built, and it's in beta. And that's going to be available on iOS, and it's a full app where you can pre-order your products and come and pick them up. And then this way we can, get your coffee ready in the morning, maybe a breakfast sandwich. Just like the Starbucks app, it allows for payments, and it also allows for points for rewards. And then we implemented our growler program, where you can come and fill up a glass bottle, 32 or 64 ounce, with our CBD coffee, tea, even any of our specialty teas, and take it home and, drink it all week, and then bring it back and get it filled up, for your next week of drinks. And that's been really popular, where people are coming in and filling it up with kombucha, ice, CBD tea, CBD coffee, and, just coming back in. And, something that I think, that we kind of adapted and promoted a little bit more, because we're now giving these for free to new customers their first time, whereas normally it would have cost $9 for the bottle. They're kind of expensive. They're glass.
I want to ask you another question, and we're going to wrap up here in another minute or so, but tell me about kombucha. I've tried it once. What exactly is it? I know it's a fermented product. And what is it going to do for me? Because you mentioned some flavors that actually sound interesting. I might have to come in for a little kombucha tasting and see if I can try it one more time. But the first time I had it, I have to tell you, it was unusual, and I'm not sure I necessarily liked it.
Yeah. Well, it's made with something called SCOBY, if you've ever heard of SCOBY, which is symbiotic bacteria and yeast. And basically, your gut is where, you process food, you digest food, and you absorb much of the micro and macronutrients from your food, vitamins, through your stomach lining. So having good gut health is extremely important. And drinking a probiotic beverage like a kombucha encourages good gut health. And most SCOBY or kombucha that's out there is, hard to palate or taste. And Mother Kombucha, they're based out of St. Pete, all women owned, and they add other antioxidants, vitamins, and flavors to really come up with very unique flavors. And we serve key lime, margarita, lavender mojito, and blue rose, which is a blueberry and elderberry.
Okay.
So
and those
we have
sound like
those,
really,
yeah.
those sound like appealing flavors to me. Like maybe I need to come in and give it another try because those.
Oh yeah, they're really good, and we rotate out those taps, and you can fill up a growler with that. And we have a secret menu also. So once in a while, just like the ice cream drink that I made you with espresso, we do sherbet, raspberry sherbet, and kombucha, which tastes amazing together. And we have some other types of Italian ices.
Okay, well, anything that can give us health. We're all obviously focused on staying healthy these days, taking our vitamins, and really protecting ourselves with gloves and masks. But if this is one more level of protection, I think it's something worth considering. But I really appreciate you, Tom, taking a couple minutes today, telling us about Chill Cawfee, telling us about your shop. And I know you have a ton more information to share, so a person just needs to come to the shop, right? And they have the wealth of your skill and information at their fingertips. And it seems like you're the type of person who is eager to share and help other people get healthy as well. So
yeah, once you do it, and you face certain things, it's like it just makes me happy to share it with people and see their eyes light up and learn something new. And we update our Facebook page, Chill Cawfee, all the time. We have our Instagram page. That's where we have. And if anybody ever wants to come in, we do free consultations to help them find out if they want to pursue a medical marijuana card or start with some hemp CBD products. So we do that. We're going to be doing yoga classes again with Karma Yoga, and lots of really nice things with the community. So and the community's been amazing. They've really kept us going. And on those days where we're sitting here thinking, what the hell did we do? Somebody else walks in the door and, says, hey, Marie told me to come over here and try your growler. Thank you so much. And it's been a great experience. And I'm sure we'll never forget starting this time of year.
That's right. That's right. Let's hope on your 10-year ribbon cutting, we're reminiscing back to the business that opened during quarantine. Well, congratulations on your new business in our community. You've got a customer in me. I bet you Johnny will be there the next time he's in the area. So, Tom, we'll see you real soon. Thank you so much for opening a business during quarantine. Chill Cawfee. We'll see you real soon.
Thank you. Bye now.
Bye.
Thanks again to Tom Quigley and his wife Lisa from Chill Cawfee Shop. I'm absolutely going to go by and check them out and pick up some other kombucha. I've actually had their stuff and it's fantastic. So definitely go by, say hi, tell them you heard about them on Osprey Observer TV. And speaking of the Osprey Observer, Marie, what are the hot stories right now over on OspreyObserver.com?
So we are absolutely so excited. We have so many great stories coming out in our next edition. One is that, believe it or not, currently the 63rd annual 4th of July parade is still on for Brandon.
Wow.
This is
That's
one
exciting.
of the 12 largest events in the state of Florida each and every year. And right now, the President's Roundtable, who is the coordinator of the event, is still on for this 4th of July. So stay tuned for that, because this would be a great way to get the family out and really celebrate this year. We're going to need that. The second one is, we keep hearing these shortages of meat in the grocery store of different products. Well, Wilkinson Cattle Company is a local beef and cattle farm that you can buy a quarter, a half. You can buy a whole steer if you have the freezer space. So It's just another idea. We're doing a story on them, but talk about shopping local. That is a very local way to get your freezer filled with beef and meats and proteins. The last one is, we love the good news stories. We've talked about this before. My email address directly is editor@ospreyobserver.com. You can reach me with a story idea for some good news in our community. But one is, we've got a young man, Jordan, in Bloomingdale, who with his cello instructor put on a front yard concert for his neighbors and residents.
Wow.
And did a beautiful job. So we love stories like that. Keep them coming. Thank you for reading the Osprey Observer. We're so proud to be your local community newspaper.
Yeah, and again, if you have any ideas or hear of anything, not only should you email Marie at editor@ospreyobserver.com, but even let us know in the comments section if you hear of something going on in the community that you think we should cover. We appreciate you so much for watching. Please hit the share button while you're at it, and also let us know what you think of these videos, because we're certainly having a lot of fun doing them for you guys. For now, that wraps up today's show. Thank you again to Jill, Andrew, Tom, Quigley, and Lisa from Chill Coffee Shop, and to you guys for watching. Marie, say goodbye.
We'll see you later. See you next time.